You wanted this role, didn't you?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Man. I was like, when I played it, as you did too, probably right there, you're like, wonder what he sounds like. And you couldn't get past the fact of who he looked like, right? So you would be like, oh, this is how I think he sounds. So for me, I was like, when I was playing, I was like, I think Barret sounds like this. He could sound like this. Well, it's all different now because he is with Tifa, so he would sound like this. Oh, he has a little girl, Marlene. He sounds different. So I would go through all those different things as an actor and say, how would he sound? So when I went in for my audition, it was like, all right, I got 5 different ways we can do this. You want to start narrowing them down? And I was so excited. I was trying to be calm and trying to be cool, but I was nervous because when I went in, I had just done a looping session with the Final Word loop group, and we were screaming all day on this show.
So you were raspy.
Oh, beyond raspy. I was like, that was in here. And then right after it, I had to do another video game.
And they wanted someone evil like this. And he laughed all the time.
And I'm like, oh my God, I got to go do Barret. This is like life or death. And y'all doing all this for me. But I got to make money. So I went in and I did Barret. I said, excuse my voice. And I literally sounded like Vin Diesel in Fast and Furious. And I'm sure they're like, this isn't the voice, the guy who laid the tracks and sent us this stuff, and he sounded like this, and we got to drive a car. And like, this is not Barret. Right? And I'm like, how am I going to do this voice? I said, just give me 1 minute. And I went and I grabbed some tea, and I came back in.
Wow.
I told them, hey, we got 5 ways we can do this. And I came in, and I said a quick prayer, like, Lord, let me just have the breath support, and let me have the range that I know I can give them. And wound up going in and doing it. The rest is history. And they narrowed down 5 real quick. They said, how about you just give us 2 or 3? I said, all right. So I took a friend of mine named Billy Horton. Love that dude. Grew up with him. He was one of the guys who I walked up to. Hey, my name is John.
Oh, wow.
And, or my name is Eric, because no one called me John back at home.
They called you Eric.
Mm-hmm. Eric.
Man, wow.
So it was Billy Horton, and then my uncle, and then what I saw Barret as is a Mr. T blend, right? So I took all 3 of those, and I said, okay, we're going to put that together, and then we're going to put John in it. So we're going to have 50% of him and 50% of me, and let's see what works. And so, rest is history.
And do you remember that?
You always got to put some of you in it.
Oh.
It's got to be real. It's got to be authentic.
Well, I could tell that you were a father just by the performance.
That's good. 4 boys. Well, you can't see the gray hair here because I got a wife who's a hairdresser. But you can see all this.
No, but you can't. I don't think it's hard to fake that emotion in some of those scenes with Marlene. And do you know what I mean?
True. No, I totally know what you mean. And there were times where I had to do emotional scenes, and I'm not a method actor by any means. I do a thing called substitution, and I would substitute one of my sons or my wife or one of my experiences for the scenes that we had. And there's some scenes that are in Rebirth that,
Tell me you're not doing substitution on a certain scene where you're holding someone in your arms. That's devastating.
I think that's why, and it's good to see like some of the comments and people are like, when you did that, I was crying. I'm like, are you crying now? And they're telling me, they're feeling about it. And, that was heavy because my father passed in 2017. I haven't said the same, but so Dan, you must be special.
Sorry to hear that, man.
My father passed in 2017 and he died in my arms. And,
oh man.
So that substitution was a tough day. But I'm not trying to do any spoilers. So that was a good substitution for the moment to relay to game players and the audience, and how my process was to get there.
Dude, that's special. I got chills.
Yeah. Yep. I think, what are we, March, what's the day, 17th? I think it was close to this time where all that took place. So, you know, how apropos that the game comes out the end of February, and, you know, it's like, all right, cool. This little memorandum, right? Memorandum, you know, I can't even think of the words. I'm so thinking about what I'm talking about.
Were you, how do you process that after you're done with that scene? Do
You take a minute.
yeah.
You know, you take a minute and you walk away. Kirk, our director, Kirk Thornton, and then our booth, the supervisor, Justin, they know me well. And then Ben was there, who's our translator. They knew, oh, John's going to need a minute after this. And they didn't know what I was using for substitution. They just knew that I had to go somewhere to get the performance. And that's pretty much in any emotional scene and voiceover, because you can't see the face, you know, we're not on camera for the audience. And I want the players, I want the audience, I want the people who are participating in this journey to go on the journey with me. I think it's important to give it justice, you know, don't dial it in, do the homework, you know, make it real so they have something to relate to. It's not even, hey, I'm gonna pull on their heartstrings. It's not that. It's like, hey, look, this is what this moment meant to me. This character is huge to me. I got this job because of, I think, my talent and what I bring to the table. And I want you to be satisfied. I want you to be happy, you know? And Prince has a song called Satisfied. And a lot of those words are like, this is what we do as entertainers. This is what we do in the business. But when we are trying to be significant with doing something instead of successful, success is whatever.
So true.
That's what leaves legacies. So I'm trying to put my stamp on the character so that folks can go through the journey with me. You know, not just look at it from the outside.